File setup on a new file. If you are picking up an old file and changing some copy or maybe changing a section of a page or even a page around, it's not worth starting new. But if it makes sense to start new, I recommend actually starting new as opposed to opening an only sort of related document and then deleting a whole bunch of stuff, because then you have more control over the settings, like the defaults that we just set in our program. If you delete content from a file, you will have probably paragraph styles and colors and who knows what else is set, and there's just sort of debris in there. Starting fresh gives you more control over what's in your file. There are a number of things to consider when you are starting fresh. This version of InDesign has some defaults, default presets that you can choose from, and I'm going to choose print because I work in Studio and print is my life. So here is where I can set the job code and number, what it is, whatever name I want to call it, I can set that right here. Units of measurement, like I said, I don't think in picas, I never have. I'm much more comfortable in inches, millimeters, or centimeters. Usually inches because I'm American and most of our spec sheets are in inches. So let's say I want this to be an 8.5 by 11, 8-page booklet with facing pages. I want a 1 column per page. I think I want some pages to have, say, a 2-column arrangement, but I'll set that a little bit later. I want, as my default, 1 column per page. For margins, let's start with the 1/2 inch all the way around. It's the default and it's a pretty good place to start. Bleed and slug, because this is a print piece, we want to add 1/8 of an inch of bleed all the way around unless the specs call for something different. Slug we don't really use at CB as part of our process, at least in InDesign. That would be if we wanted to send a note to the vendor. We would add a slug and put that note in there. Again, not really part of our process, but that's what a slug would be used for. We do, however, when we take a PDF and we add that 3 inches all the way around for copy or medical to add annotations to a piece, that is adding slug. We just call it margins because outside of the creative department, nobody knows what a slug is other than the thing you find in a garden. So let's go ahead and create this. So as I'm setting up my file, I probably don't want or need any of the default colors, because in this hypothetical piece, I am going to base it on a color scheme based on a previous piece. I'm going to base it on my presentation. If this were a real piece, I would probably base it on the existing brand colors. Either way, this is only going to serve to confuse me. I might accidentally choose one of these colors instead of a brand color that looks a lot like it. So I'm just going to delete those. And I'm going to load my color swatches from an existing file. So there are all the colors that I use in my presentation here. So now I have all the colors that I should need. While I'm at it, I think I'm going to import some paragraph styles because I know that I want my text to look like the text that is in my presentation. At least sort of. It's a good place to start. So I'm going to load some paragraph styles from the same document. But it doesn't really make sense for me to have all of these paragraph and character styles. So I'm going to uncheck all of them and then just choose heading, subhead, and small text. So we've imported colors and we've imported styles.